Your feet tend to hold a lot of tension, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on releasing the bottom and the top of your feet using a ball. So the type of tool that you use is going to depend on the type of pressure that you like. So you can use a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball. Just depends on the person. I am someone that tends to err on the side of caution and tend to use tools that are a little bit softer, because if we use tools that are too tense and too hard, it tends to lock up the tissues and create more tension. It might feel good in the moment, but in 4 to 6 hours, the tissues are going to recoil and go back because they were too stressed out. So again, depending on what feels good for you, you decide what tool we're gonna use. So I'm gonna start with the squishy ball, because like I said, that's my preference for my own tissues. So what we're gonna do is we start with adding a little bit of pressure right at the base of the toes. So what we're gonna do is just gonna push down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just notice that pressure. Then we're gonna roll to the middle of the foot and we're gonna add a little bit of pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're gonna roll to the heel and push down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By adding pressure, it tells the nervous system, hey, pay attention to me. We got some stuff. We're going to move some stuff here. So then I'm going to encourage you to do is I want you just to slowly roll, like you're rolling each metatarsal. So you're going to roll from the inside of the foot, big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and we just roll to the outside of that foot. It often feels very, very good. But right now we're aligning with the tissues. So we're kind of lengthening, we're trying to add some fluidity. But what happens is that the feet can get very tight. So what we want to do is we want to cross those fibers. So what I tend to do is focus on which of the 3 points, which areas, which of the 3, was it the top, the middle, or the heel? Where did you have the most tension when you were pushing down? So most people, it's usually in the middle. So what I do is encourage you to place the ball in the middle, and what you're gonna do is you're going to add a little pressure and you're just gonna roll your foot side to side. So again, a lot of people like to use more pressure than is needed, but if that's what you need to feel, then that's what you need to feel, no problem. So I like to roll back and forth. So then I'm gonna do the top of the foot, so we don't wanna ignore any of the parts. So essentially what we're doing is we're just cross shearing. We're doing a shearing factor. We're shearing the tissues on the bottom of the feet. So just to loosen that up, and then we're gonna do the heel. So again, this one's a little bit harder. You have to plant your toe, and then you're gonna move your heel side to side. So this is, when you do this with clients, you may notice that they may not have very much mobility. So this is important that you understand, like, okay, they don't have a lot of mobility here, so this is something that will help us loosen up the tissue so that we can improve the mobility in the toes and in the foot. Cool? All right, let's do the other side of the foot. So again, we start at the base of the toes, so we go push down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go to the middle of the foot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the heel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Middle of the foot, let's cross those fibers, so we go back and forth. Make sure you're breathing, taking your time. A lot of people like to do this really fast and roll it out, but it's all good. Take your time and just feel it. Loosen those tissues up. Say, thank you, feet. You've been doing amazing. Just give me a little love today. Yeah. So let's do the top of the toes. Oh yeah, feels good. Roll this. So can the toes actually roll and like squeeze that ball? So again, that just gives us some indications. You have some people that one toe might be sticking right up or whatever. That's again information of how the tissues are working, how well you ground to the floor. Like movement starts from the ground. It comes from your feet. So we gotta give some feet some love. Let's do it. Let's do it. All good. Yeah. So we rock back and forth and make sure you roll out. Again, I did the shearing and now we can go lengthwise. I forgot to do this one, but this one just feels good. Just straight up feels good because you're going with the tissues and there's not much pain. If you have a little bit of thing, you could rub it out a little bit, but again, we're just trying to loosen up and get some fluidity in the tissues. So a lot of people stop there, but not you. What you're gonna do is you're gonna focus on the other parts of your feet called the top of your foot. So what we're gonna do with this one is you're gonna take your ball, and what we wanna do is we're gonna like corkscrew. So this is where having different textures of tools can help. So this is why I like the lacrosse ball, because that lacrosse ball can grab the tissues of the top of my feet. The top of the feet often don't get a lot of love. They don't get a lot of attention. So we want to give that to them right here. So what we do is we just corkscrew and kind of shear those tissues to open that up and loosen up the tissues. And we don't want to forget the inside of the ankle. A lot of times right on the inside of this ankle here, it can get very sore, very tender. There's a lymph node here. Things just get stuck here just because we wear toe coffins all day, i.e. shoes way too long, or we wear socks that are too tight. So what we want to do is just loosen up that space. So if you want to use your hand and roll it out, you can do that as well. You can go along the top. So again, it's just about sensitizing you and your tissues more. So make sure you get the outside of that ankle too. Give that some love. And yeah, so again, different textures for different people. So that's why you want to have different tools. Again, you could do it with the softer. That's fine. I prefer a little bit of grip with the lacrosse ball. Hence why I'm using it. So I'm just twisting the tissues, giving it some love. Don't forget the toes. Give some toes some love. Yeah, there's a lot of stickiness in there on the inside of the ankle, and just notice where there might be some tension. So remember, we're doing this for about 30 to 60 seconds per area. Okay, we don't need much more than that, because if we do, we can then stress out the tissues. So you're better off coming back later if you're noticing like, oh yeah, like that feels really good and I want to do this forever. That's not necessarily gonna, you might overdo it. So just come back, you know, maybe at the beginning of the workout or after the workout, and then you can really help the tissues loosen up and get some fluidity. So, and you get going from there. So that is how you release your feet using 2 different types of balls.